make way fools for the digital GM. World record holder for most powerful BM. All the ladies love it when they see his live streams, impressed by his knowledge of D&D 5e. He's got diaries, tutorials, he's a king among men. Put your hands together for the digital GM. Actually, his name's David Middleton. Shut up!
What's up, everybody? What's going on, all you slackers out there? There you go. There's the viewer count. It's going to go from 10 down to 2 because I've called them all a bunch of slackers. What's going on, everybody? Good to see everybody. Another Digital Dungeon Master Vodcast going on in the new stream schedule of 10 p.m. Mountain. I know, Lord Gwyd, it's past your bedtime, I think, right?
Yeah, a little bit, but I can make it, man. I'm okay.
You're an East Coaster? Yeah.
No, I'm a mountain just like you, man.
Oh my gosh, and it's past your bedtime?
Dude, I'm usually up at 4:30.
Dude, I am totally going to Amazon you a military shovel so you can dig that sand out of your vagina because it's only 10 o'clock. Rob is totally muted. One of my viewers out there, put me an Amazon link for a military shovel under $20, please. Thank you. I'm waiting for that. No. Rob, what's up, buddy? What's going on?
What's up, buddy? Yeah, you know,
there's my Velvet Millennium Falcon in the background. I love it.
There it is. There it is. The Velvet Millennium Falcon from Doctor Who is up there.
Yes.
I'm doing good. Happy to be here to discuss. I have less sand in my vagina than Gwydion does.
I just blew a booger out of my nose on that one. Oh, God. Well, that's good to hear. And Gwyd, thanks for coming on, man. And I don't think you do a whole lot of this kind of stuff, right? But, you know, you DM'd a game for us a couple of months ago. I'd say about a month ago. Everybody enjoyed it. So I was like, hey, you know what? We need to get Lord Gwyd on here. So, Lord Gwyd, thanks for coming on, man. Totally appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for inviting.
Man, sorry it's so late, man. But this is like the best time. And plus it's Thursday and I had to watch the Packers game. So, you know, the Packers game where they lost, it was a sacrifice to get you on at 10, so I'm sorry.
And you still actually had Rob on, the Seattle fan, really? Tonight? Of all night?
Fucking Seahawks, man. I swear to God, Pete Carroll, he is the luckiest effing coach in the NFL. I swear, man. He is.
Every single play I pray for Aaron Rodgers to break his leg, or for him to get hit by a bolt of lightning.
Wow! Yeah. Every away game, I pray for the Seahawks plane to go down. Oh, was that?
Oh my God!
Is that nasty? That's on a whole nother level right there.
I talked. Yeah, you're the devil, man. I talked about
actually,
a guy
the Steelers and the Seahawks.
Not 120 people getting wiped off the planet of the earth.
Now watch the Packers plane will go down tonight, and I'll just feel like absolute shit.
Oh my God!
No, I'm just kidding. I don't hope anybody's planes goes down. I mean, I love football, and those guys go through hell every game. So, but anyway, screw you Steelers and screw you Seahawks. So we're going to be doing another Digital Dungeon Master Vodcast, and I hope you guys like the jingle that was made by my buddy Harrison from the Wild Die Podcast. And wow, one thing to mention before we get into everybody's favorite game, the 800-pound room and the elephant, Pathfinder Playtest. No, I'm just kidding. 5e is the 800-pound elephant. But did you guys see the total of that Savage Worlds Kickstarter? Holy crap. Almost 550 grand? That is impressive. And I am so happy for Shane and Clint and everybody over at Savage Worlds and Pinnacle Entertainment Group, or PEG. That is so awesome to see a small company like that do so well. I mean, I think that actually beat Monty Cook Games. I think that actually beat Kobold Press's Tome of Beast. Or, I'm sorry, the Tomb of Beast, as I like to troll everybody. So, yeah, I mean, congratulations to Savage World. It's awesome. I backed it. I did the $200 pledge. That's actually the first Kickstarter that I've done in probably close to 2 years. So, yeah. Wow. Last one I did was at Mapforge. And the Tavern Compendium. But the Tavern Compendium was $1, and, you know, the Mapforge garbage, that was about $30. So, yeah.
Yeah, I did Mapforge.
Did not do that one.
What a pile of steaming.
Dungeon Fog, and yeah.
What did you think? What do you think of Map Forge?
Well, I what happens is they put out a version of it and they say, okay, here's the next version, and then I go to it and I have a problem. And see, my thing is I have
There's no auto updater.
In life. Yeah. I go, if one thing happens, I melt down and quit, and I wait till the next update.
Yeah.
No,
and I do that with I do that with everything in life. Like if I go to a website and it's a shit website, I leave and I never come back. And I do that with women. I do it with. I just have no patience.
Oh, whoa! Let's talk about the women part of that. I mean, we'll put Pathfinder Playtest on the burner for a couple minutes. But you gotta hear
hold
this.
on. Let me just.
Actually, we'll probably need more than an hour, maybe, for that. Right. Put out your disclaimers, all the ladies out there.
Let me just tell them all to be calm here in my house, where they all. There's no one here. I'm by myself.
Your house is like the yawning portal where there's like 3 stories of women just, checking you out and gawking over you sitting by the well.
Yeah, and Matt Mercer in the corner.
With this,
I'm trying to make Dave spit his glass, spit his drink out.
I actually have a frosty beverage tonight. I put 2. Oh no, I'm actually drinking the good stuff. I'm drinking Miller Lite tonight. Everybody in the channel's like, buy Miller Lite. Miller Lite is good. I tried Mick Light before because I'm not an alcohol connoisseur. So I basically did a straw poll and I'm like, what beer is the best? And Miller Lite won. And I bought Miller Lite and it's not too bad. I tried Bud Light. It's not too bad, but it's ice cold. It's in my, what is this called? I was going to call it, I was going to call it the Mossy Forest, but it's the Mossy Oak glass from Walmart, glass from $10 from Walmart. So keeps your frosty beverage nice and cold. And I dumped 3 beers in it. Well, actually, I could fit like 2.5, and I just shotgunned the last half bottle of the glass. So I was like, I don't want it to go to waste, and I'm not dumping it down the sink. So, boy, how we digress. Beer, it's already getting to me after downing like 3/4 of the cup in like 10 minutes. So good to see the Savage Worlds Kickstarter do so well, and good to have you guys on here, and we're going to talk about what we like about Pathfinder, because we've all played it, and we've all played D&D 5e. We've been playing that for years, so I think that would be a great topic for tonight, what we like and dislike, and compare the two, what we like and don't like about each rule set. So, just the base rule set. We know 5e, it's the most popular game out there. There's more people. I would go out on a limb and say there's probably more people playing D&D 5e than every other game combined. I don't care if it's Pathfinder, Starfinder, Savage Worlds, everything combined. I would say there's probably more people playing D&D 5e. So
I agree.
It's a great game.
Yeah,
it's super easy to play.
There's actually numbers on that. You see every quarter or every year they show the numbers for Fantasy Grounds, and if Fantasy Grounds is that's only a small subset of people, but if that's any indication, the amount of people playing 5e is one number, and then you take every other thing added up, and that's like a quarter of that number. It's like really small.
Yeah, well, it's like that for Fantasy Grounds when we put out the numbers, and the other competitors as well, Roll2e, they put out numbers like that too in pie graph charts and. The numbers are staggering. I mean, everything else combined does not equal D&D 5e, which is, it's a great game. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, I've been playing it for 5 years solid, and I'm just coming back from a break that I took for about 4 months. Played Savage Worlds, Starfinder. It was a fun time, and now I'm back to playing. I'm running a Tomb of Horrors, killing off characters, couple at a time. Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm also running the Runes of Undermountain here. Well, I'm playing Dragon Heist too, but that's going to lead into Undermountain, So
that's what I'm doing on Friday night. I'm doing the Waterdeep and then Undermountain.
Yeah, you'll be playing Undermountain, especially when you play once every couple of weeks. You'll be playing it for 12 years because there's 25 levels.
It's a nice. I get email from that Beetle and Grimm company that wants to sell you the $500. We're 85% sold out. Come and buy. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm in line for that.
So, Pathfinder 2, though, I like Pathfinder 2. So, I must tell everyone that is interested in my story about getting introduced to Pathfinder, I never played Pathfinder. I never played for 10 years. It's been a game on the market, Pathfinder regular edition, you'd call it now, I guess, or first edition.
Check out those map packs.
I never played it, and Gwydion convinced me to do Pathfinder 2 playtest, and we had some fun.
We had a hell of a good time playing that, and Lord Gwyd, you did a great job running it, man. You really did.
Thanks. No, I enjoyed it. I've done nothing but 5e, kind of like you, the last few years, and something just kind of grabbed me about the playtest, and I decided to jump into it. Did some conversions, and yeah, I really like it so far. A lot of changes, obviously, from the beginning, but I really like it.
Yeah. So let's talk about those changes. That's a perfect segue into, what we like and don't like about either, the comparison between 5e and also the Pathfinder playtest. So I hope that more and more people get into the Pathfinder playtest. I mean, it is free. There's no initial cost up front. You can go and download the 250, 300-page core rulebook that has everything. There's another 100 to 150-page bestiary or bestiary, however you want to call it. I've heard it called everything, so say whatever you want. I know what you're saying. So you can download that as a PDF, and then you can download Doomsday Dawn, which is a great 7-part adventure and a free map pack. Yeah. And if you want to see what the flip mats look like with Pathfinder, check them out. They're pretty nice. They're really nice. So yeah, my first overall impression was it's not as rule friendly as D&D 5e. Especially when you get into class construction, race construction, the way that the skills are now. I love, we can get into the skills and stuff. We can kind of do each section accordingly. I like how they eliminated attacks of opportunity, about 99%, except for the fighter or the paladin at level 8, and some monsters will have them. So, it's sped up combat. It's gotten rid of the 10 attacks around that you would have gotten in Pathfinder. The classes are so robust. There's so many ways to customize your character, whether it be racial features or racial feats. There are skill feats. There are, class feats. There are general feats. There's feats for everything. And the cool thing is every class is not streamlined. Sure, there's stuff for your base class like there is in D&D 5e, but with the variety that you get from all those different feats, it gives you so much variety to customize your character. And that's what really impressed me about it, because I don't remember Pathfinder being like that. I know that there were the prestige classes and stuff when you met the minimum requirements and stuff, but that's what I liked about it. So what do you guys think?
Wasn't the thing with Pathfinder that was the big complaint, is that there were so many options and so many splat books, and you could do like 90 different things with your character, and then people would melt down during character creation, and it would, like, the game would be over before it started. That's what I heard. And so with Pathfinder 2, it looked pretty simple, and the Fantasy Grounds thing that we used was amazing.
Tremlo's done an amazing job.
Yeah, he did it. He did, because it's got like a step by. I wish they had that for 5e, where you would do it step by step, and that
may come down the line. I'm not too sure yet, but I think it's been mentioned a couple times on Fantasy Grounds Fridays. But I think that might be coming down the line. Don't quote me. But the main thing is
Dave
to get Unity out first. No, Dave did not say. I'm putting that disclaimer out there right now.
Dave did not say. Oh, you're breaking up.
Yeah, but the Pathfinder character creation is awesome. It really is. It's awesome for Fantasy Grounds.
And Gwydion did a really good job. He
converted some of that stuff.
Well, you walked us through it step by step, and we had a great time. I mean, making the characters is almost as fun as playing the game.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty simple to do, but like you said, David, one of the things I like too is the 3-action economy. I mean, I think it really adds. It's simple, but it really adds some complexity to it that sometimes I'd like to see in 5e. Sometimes I'm kind of at that point where I love 5e, but so I like that piece of it.
That was my favorite part. The 3-action economy was the number one thing that I liked about Pathfinder playtest.
Yeah. It does pretty much, and I will say this, it does kind of work the same way that D&D 5e works with 2 points costing an action and one kind of, as your bonus action. It's the same thing for the most part, but it's worded differently, and certain things are a little bit different, like healing word, but then again, healing word is a bonus action anyway. So, I mean, it kind of balances out and equates out to the same thing. But I love it, though, because in Pathfinder, it will allow you to be like D&D 5e, where you can do an attack, spend an action point to move, and then attack something again. So I do like that. Or you could do three 5-foot steps, or what are they called now? Slides or something like that instead of 5-foot steps?
It's it's not.
But it's the 5-foot equivalent. You can do 3 of those and just bow out, man, or do 2 and then get out of dodge with a sprint action. It's great. I like it.
Well, and the spells too, and I forget what the cleric spell is, but like the heal, where if you
isn't that beautiful?
I love how you can step it up by using more actions.
Yeah, that was like
different.
For spells, Gwyd, that was like the hidden gem. I mean, it really was, because the one thing that I didn't do was I did not read all of the feats word for word. I did not read all of the spells word for word. I read all of the mechanics, and I read all of the classes and the races, so I would get the gist of everything. But, the impertinent stuff like feats and stuff, I mean, you're going to learn that stuff anyway. But when I read that healing spell, I was like, dude, that was like finding the needle in the haystack, when you can cast a healing word for 1 point, or for 2 points. No, for 1 point you can do a touch, and everything's D8. So the healing word equivalent with the 50-foot cast is a D8 instead of D4. And then for all 3 of your actions, you can do a 30-foot area of effect spell at level 1. I mean, come on, that's like boobalicious, dude. I mean, it just is. I mean, when I read that, I was like, wow, that is so great.
Yeah.
So I think we're in agreement. And I'll wrap it up with that, and you guys can also comment. But I think 5e is really, really player friendly as well, and it should be. I mean, I agree. It's such an easy game. I mean, once you hit level 5 in D&D 5e, it's like there's no need to go over level 5, because my level 5 group right now is in level 15 Tomb of Horrors, and they are just literally destroying it at level 5. Of course, they've had a couple deaths, but they were no saving throw deaths, and that's just how the Tomb of Horrors works. So it would have been the same way for a 5 or a 15 level character. But I just think that Pathfinder will be more challenging. And we actually kind of saw that in the Pathfinder playtest. And I think the monsters, looking at the way that the monsters are constructed and the way that they have their matrix set up in the core book as well, to where if you're going to have a level 1 creature, these are the stats, this is the damage, just pretty much add whatever attack. If you're going to make a fire poo flinging gorilla, you'll just take that level 1 character, that stat line, use it, plug in what you want, and just call it flaming poo strike, and it's going to do that much damage. And I like that. It reminds me a lot of 13th Age. 13th Age is the same way. Starfinder's the same way, and I like that. And in the 5e Dungeon Master's Guide, character creation is just a train wreck, and it's just, there's so many huge variances of numbers. I just don't see that as efficient. I just don't. But like I said, I'm not bashing 5e, but I think they could have done a much, much better job by eliminating challenge rating, like it was in the last private playtests in D&D Next. And I think that they could have done a better job with monster construction as well. So, but I do love 5e. I mean, it's definitely my favorite game, no doubt about it. I mean, look, I have everything behind me. I've spent thousands of dollars on Icons of the Realms and miniatures. I like the game. I'm not bashing it. So
I love it too.
Don't be making memes of me saying that I hate 5e, because I don't. I love it. So yeah. But I think Pathfinder's going to be more crunchy, and that's what I'm going to close on. I just think that there's enough rules with the skills and stuff. I think it's just going to be more crunchy. And I like that, and I'm ready for that change in my D&D play too. So what do you guys think?
Madman's in Photoshop right now.
Nice. No, I like I know they keep tweaking it a bit, but I do like the death and dying, and your point about it being more crunchy. It feels more that the players are at risk, which which I like. I like that. And I think the players like that too, to feel like, hey, there's a real chance here that I might go down and I'm not going to get right back up.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, I don't have to throw a Tarrasque at a group of level 5 characters for them to have a challenge,
Right.
I mean, even Tiamat at level 10 was not even a challenge to my level 10 group. I mean, it was just, I just don't know what to say.
And I like the wounded change where it's harder and harder to come back. Once you are down, you can't just keep popping right back up. I mean, it's a struggle, and that feels good to me. I mean, that feels,
and another thing I like. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got me excited. I thought about something. I got the light bulb, and plus I think it might be this snow light too.
No.
You talk about the death and dying. What about shields? No more automatic +2. Yeah. So no more level 1 characters with 35 AC anymore. And I know, Rob, you hate that. So I've heard you talk about that before. So there's no more like starting 18s and 20s for AC. I mean, I like that. And plus, whenever you use a shield, you take dents and you have to repair, and crafting is viable now.
Yeah.
The cleric with plate mailed and shield and whatever, then you start with like an AC of 20.
Yeah.
Right, in 5e, yeah.
In 5e, yeah.
But how'd they get played at level 1 though? Did you give them that 5,000 gold bonus there?
Right.
Oh, or what?
Patron
whatever
pledge,
happens.
5,000 bonus at the $5 level.
Maybe it's only 19 you can get to on, because sometimes players will make characters and I go, "How did you get an AC of 20?" And they go, "Well, I have plate mail," and I'm like, what starting equipment has plate mail in it? And they're like, I misread that. It's chain or what, I'm like, yeah,
and
misread it.
And I own 7 horses and a fucking caravan too. I mean,
that's right.
At level 1.
But I do like, to your point, Dave. I mean, there's that just shows the other layers to the playtest. In that you can raise your shield and you can get some bonus, but then you can also do the shield block and, like you said, take a dent. So it's pretty intriguing that it just adds some complexity and diversity, I guess, to the game.
That dent thing is cool. I like
that. It
that.
is, and it makes crafting viable. Do any of my players have crafting? Hell no, because it's not needed. I mean, there's tons of toolkits out there, but for what? I mean, you can alchemy and herbalism and stuff. Those are the ones that are viable, but. Sword Coast Adventures Guide doesn't go into what types of herbs and roots and stuff that you can find in each region. But I guarantee the new digital Dungeon Master products will have those in there. But anyways, we'll move on. But yeah, I like that. It's part of the 3 action point economy. And if you want to block, if you want that, bonus to AC, you do your raise shield and you get the armor bonus. And if it's the attack beats your hardness, then you take a dent on your shield, and your shield can break. And you can, hopefully one of your players will have a portable forge to where they can, spend an hour and repair the shield, or try to attempt to repair it. Nothing's automatic either.
Right.
With the skill check system. The skill check system is so beautifully put together in Pathfinder because you have all the feats to go along with them. There are a ton of different actions that you can take that cost points that you can use in combat or whatever too. So I think the feat portion of the Pathfinder Playtest is really nicely put together.
And I like that some things, if you're not trained in them, you just can't do them.
Yeah.
There's some things that you're untrained in.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's beautiful. That you bring that up.
But one other thing I was going to mention before I forget on the class side is I like how they added the anathema, to where the alignment actually kind of means it can be pretty important if you literally go against your god, your deity, or what have you. I thought that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know, just another, I guess, layer to the whole game.
Yeah, when I read that, because you guys probably know, I hate alignments. I hate anything with an alignment tag. I don't care. I just tell my players, I don't care if you're playing a paladin. Play your character as the way that you would be playing that character, as if you were the one wearing the armor, holding the shield, or wearing the weapon. And there are consequences. Like I had a paladin. He started off holier than thou, and then all of a sudden he starts doing some shady crap and killing innocent people and torturing them. And so I started not giving his spells back because his deity was pissed at him.
Yeah.
And of course, he didn't like that, of course, but then I had to pull him aside and tell him, look, man, this is it. This is how I do my alignments, and I warned them about it. So he goes, you know what? That makes sense. And then, then he started kind of pledging to the deity again and doing some extra prayer and a couple of other religious skill checks. And so he got back in with good graces with Morden. So, I mean, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Morden's not going to appreciate you killing innocent dwarves in a dwarven city. That's not going to happen. And it was in the Forge of Fury. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if they're Duergar or not. They're dwarves, and that's Morden's domain. So
yeah.
But I do like the skill check system. That's nice. Yeah. How you can spend actions and almost sort of like a saving throw from like D&D 5e. If you're falling into a pit trap that you failed, its stealth was better than your passive perception, then you can do a dexterity check and do a grab or whatever it's called, and it costs an action point, or I think it's actually a reaction. So yeah, it's beautifully put together, man. They've done a lot of work, and and I'll say this is on a side note. They've actually really listened to the community too, because especially we were going to do a show on the resonance changes, and I mean they listened to the community. I personally, I liked resonance the way it was, because I'm a very low magic type of DM, but I've been told over the years that I'm really stingy with magic items. But then my Tomb of Horrors group, they got 10 items a piece. I'm like, how is that being stingy? But I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I mean,
10 items
they
a piece.
Listen.
Jesus.
Oh, I'd say most of them have probably 5 or 6 items a piece. I think one of them probably has about 10 items. Not going to mention his name, but he's in chat. But yeah,
Diablo Bob, Dragon Bait.
So, I know that you not mentioning any names or anything, Dragon Bait, or Omi Barton. So, you've DM'd this, Gwyd. Now, what do you like about Pathfinder compared to D&D 5e? I mean, what are some of the pluses that you actually took away from running that first adventure for us?
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that we've already talked about. I mean, I think as I was running the monsters, I liked it. It felt more, I don't know, I guess, how do I describe it? In 5e, it feels like when I grab a monster, it's kind of like, this is what's going to happen. This is the best attack. This is how I'm going to do it. But in playtest, I kind of felt like and maybe it's just the way that the 3-action economy is described, but I just felt like I had to think a lot more about how to run that monster. And it kind of got me more into the mood or into the mindset of that monster. I really like that. That's
a good point. Yeah, and plus, a lot of the monsters had a lot more actions to actually spend your action points on. And what about that multi-action penalty? Isn't that awesome? You can take 3 attacks at level 1. Of course, second's going to be -5, third's going to be -10, but I like that, man. I mean, if you're grown roots like Tom Brady or Drew Bledsoe, standing behind, standing in the pocket, you can just literally just stand there and attack 3 times. I mean, that's just great.
And one of the things that didn't come out as much, but I think I'm going to like, is the initiative system. Just having a little bit of flavor on, okay, if somebody was being stealthy, they can roll their stealth. If you're in a diplomacy situation, you can roll something around charisma. It doesn't have to just be
Dex every time. Yeah, it doesn't. And that's another good point you bring up. That's something that is definitely unique, and that's something that I haven't seen in D20 games before. I mean, there's some news here in Pathfinder Playtest, which is good.
I think on the flip side for me, like the challenges is getting back in and DMing for the first time. The first time I ever DM'd was 5e. So that was pretty easy to pick up. I, got into it pretty quickly. That first session with you guys, I mean, it was a little bit of a challenge to me to try to remember everything. And it's definitely more complex, but that was fine. I mean, it worked, but definitely a little more challenging to run.
I liked it. I thought you did a good job. So you played it off perfectly.
Yeah, I thought you did
because you're trying to
job. I would not have wanted to do that. I would not have wanted to run.
No, that's exactly it. I did a couple private sessions as well, and and when you're new, it's like you said, Gwydion, you just got to bullshit your way through it. And,
I know.
The players appreciate it, man. I can't tell you how many times I've done that with new games and settings and stuff that I've played. So, but it was good. I liked it. The adventure was nicely written. The encounters were pretty challenging, and I mean the flip maps were awesome.
Maps were good. Yeah.
So, and plus you can use those for other adventures too, man. It's not like you just have to use them for Doomsday Dawn. Oh, because I got so excited I let go of the push to talk button. But it's like you can use these for other games. You don't have to just use them for Doomsday Dawn. I mean, you could put together a cool homebrew game or something and use that map.
Yeah. One of the things I'm still trying to learn as I think about the I don't know, I guess I'd call it the bonus system. And I always look at 5e, I look at Shadow of the Demon Lord, and now at Pathfinder Playtest. I struggle a little bit with advantage, disadvantage, although, it's okay. I like it in 5e. I like the boon and bane of Shadow and the Demon Lord, and then the circumstance and different bonuses and playtest. I think gives you more flexibility maybe, but I'm trying to learn that piece of it.
I will say this, Shadow of the Demon Lord is a great game as well. But I think that Boon and Bane system, giving you the +1 to +6 or -1 to -6 bonus, is far better. And it's not as detrimental or advantageous like an advantage and disadvantage in 5e. I would rather have a numerical bonus than, just roll twice, take the best, or roll twice, take the worst. Because like I said, it's advantageous. And I mean, it is literally advantage and disadvantage. And that's what I know that's what they wanted, which they took from 4E, by the way, my favorite D&D edition. Sorry about that. I just had to throw that in there. But you do see that in Pathfinder too. I've seen a couple of times where features will say roll twice, take the best, or roll twice and take the worst. So, yeah. And I think a lot of the reactions do that as well, which there are a lot of reactions in Pathfinder compared to 5e to where they're all class specific and they're all kinds of like miss on like a roll of 1 on a fumble, or if you get crit hit, you can riposte, or if they just plain miss. So it's not just like, attacking. So advantage. So it's basically like this. It's not as frequent as in like 5e where there are still attacks of opportunity everywhere and everybody can do them, but they're more class specific. And, sometimes you have to spend a class feat, like the Paladin will get, attack of opportunity at level 7 or 8. So, but it makes you play a guessing game, Gwyd. Like, okay, do I think this monster's going to have attack of opportunity? Should I take that chance? Because in D&D 5e, you know that every single thing is going to have an attack of opportunity. But then again, what does it matter when you're rolling with a 25 AC with a shield and everything? So it's, I just roll anyway. I don't care. I just move. Okay, you're 12 attacks of opportunity or all misses. I'm not even going to roll. So because I got to roll a crit to hit you. So, yeah. But, yeah. Lots of great little, and like I said, it's not as rule light. I mean, there's definitely more crunch to the game, but it's just getting familiar with that crunch. Yeah. Obviously, it's like riding a bike. The more you ride it, the better you're going to get at it. The more you play Pathfinder, the better you're going to get at it. So, but it's not as rule heavy as Pathfinder 1. That's for sure. Because that was the turn off for me. So
yeah, that's one of the reasons I never played it. Was somebody. I think I went to attempt to play it, and then they were explaining it to me, and I'm like, no, I'm out. Flat-footed, nah, I'm out. Yeah. And this was this would have been when it was pretty new, like 2009 or 10. And so I was, not interested in going through all of that to learn a new system. But with Pathfinder 2 playtest, Gwydion eased me in. He said, it's not going to be that bad. You're not going to bleed. You're not going to get cut. You're not going to get injured. And so I came in and I really, I had a good time, and I'm glad we did it. And I look forward to doing more and getting more involved with it.
So what, taking it away from playing that game, Rob, I mean, we played 2 or 3 sessions. What did you like about Pathfinder that maybe you don't like as much as 5e, or maybe there's some things that you like better than 5e?
Yeah, the action economy is really good. I like it. I was playing a wizard, so I had to really strategize because your spells would cost 1, 2, or 3 actions.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted to cast a 3-action spell, you couldn't move. Right. And it was a lot of fun to try to figure out how all that worked. And I had, but really that kind of makes sense,
though, in my opinion. If you're going to if you're going balls deep in one spell, you shouldn't be able to move. I mean, you just shouldn't.
Right.
But then again, that spell should be, you should be compensated for that by casting that magic.
Yeah.
And you are compensated by that. So.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the way they do that is vocal, semantic, and material is each one of those is an action.
Yeah. That's why it costs the 2 actions. Yeah.
Right. And so I had a good time with action economy. I did like this is more of a Fantasy Grounds thing than it is a
Thank you, Trenlo.
A Pathfinder 2 specific, but I like the Trenlo's character builder thing. That was really And now if you're doing it pencil and paper, is it the same kind of a thing where you go through it that way, or did he just invent that?
Well, I'll tell you what. No, there is a way to, and there is a very nice character creation. My players, they saw Pathfinder playtests, and my around the table friends that we usually play D&D board games and other board games and stuff. They actually made characters for Pathfinder, and they liked it. The first thing they said was, wow, look at all these choices for your race. And what they really liked was the human race, where you can take the feats at level 1. And you see, they changed that too, Lord Gwyd.
Right.
Yeah, that was something that we talked about. They did change, because I'm sure they probably heard it from 50 million playtesters. I hope there's 50 million playtesters. But yeah, you get to choose a feat. You want to be a human / Yeah, I don't even think D&D Next said that much, but we'll just roll with 50 million because it's the Miller Lite talking. But anyways, it's like you get to choose whether you want to be half human and half orc, or half human and half elf. And then there's racial feats that you can take, and what you get for choosing that race. It's nice. That was cool. One thing that they said, and they're like, wow, look at all the stuff at level 1 we get too. Wow, this isn't like D&D 5e, they said. I was like, and then they're like, wow, look at level 2 and level 3, and I get a feat here, and I get an ability score here. I don't have to give away my ability score improvement for a feat. But then I explained to them, look, because numbers are going to be much, much higher in Pathfinder compared to much, much lower numbers in 5e, and that's why you sacrifice an ability score improvement for a feat, because of the way the numbers are and because of how proficiency works in 5e.
Right, and isn't and I'm trying to remember how it works, but isn't the XP the same for every level?
1,000 per level. Yeah,
1,000. That's right.
Yeah, that's nice. Oh, and what about the way crits are done? This just popped up. Not only is a crit fumble a 1. And a critical hit is a 20, but if you go 10 over the AC, it's a crit. And
like that.
If it's 10 below the DC, it's a fumble. But then on your skill checks, if you're doing skill checks and stuff, it will say success. This is what happens with a skill check. Here's what happens with a critical success or a critical failure. So there's some bad crap. Yeah, like I said, man, this skill section is so thought out. It was so thought out, and I like that.
Yeah. No, I really do like the critical hit and critical failure. Makes a lot of sense to me. Hey, if you're gonna beat it or lose by more than 10, why wouldn't it be? So I like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people in 5e make that mistake. Sometimes, depending on what you're reading, especially in a written module, it might say, if you fail the DC by more than 5, such and such happens.
Yes.
But a lot of players make the mistake of rolling a 1 or a 20 on a skill check doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's just a number.
It's not automatic. Exactly.
Yeah, there's no crit fails, and there's no critical hits in a skill check.
Not for 5.
But in Pathfinder 2, it's really cool that the numbers are, hey, if you roll really bad, like below 10 of what your goal is, you're screwed, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. So, but in 5e, you're not penalized for, sure, if you roll that 1, 2, or 3, or 4, you're not that 2, 3, or 4, you're not penalized, or a 1, actually. But in Pathfinder, dude, you're penalized, but you're also rewarded DMs, for
you'll
going way over the 5e.
AC. most DMs, if you roll a 1, they'll just say, "Oh, well, you fell off the cliff," or
right.
you rolled a 20. Oh, you flew to the ceiling, or what? They make it just more fantastic. Yeah. But according to the rules, there's no difference. If the DC is 12, there's no difference between a 1 and an 11.
Nope, there's nothing like that. But then again, the only time that anything overwrites that is when it's in the module, like you mentioned, +5. You get a little bit more information on something, or a -5 or a -10. This will happen. But that comes from Savage Worlds. When you get a success with one of your checks, if you get a raise, which is 4 over the DC, you always get a bonus. So I think that has kind of been taken from Savage Worlds. But
and I think they do. There's a similar thing in Star Wars with the
successes and stuff.
Successes and failures. Yeah.
Yep. Which is a great game as well. So
another thing that might not be completely unique, but I thought was interesting is how they have the 3 modes: the exploration, combat, and then downtime. And I guess it's pretty similar, but I like how it's kind of in the exploration, it's a little bit less what's specific in terms of, are you stealth, or are you this, or you that? It's kind of a little more general. Yeah. But anyway, it
is. Yeah, it's a little bit more broad, especially with movement. Yeah. It more goes, and it has a lot of little graphs on like mileage movement and stuff, instead of like tactical 5 feet or And I also like how Pathfinder also kept the diagonal movement at 510 510. I like that as well. Right. Although that is optional in D&D 5e, and that is in the DM's book, DMG. Yeah. Which I think the DMG is a beautifully written book, except for Monster Creation. It could use some errata, but that's just my opinion.
Boy, that's everybody's complaint, is the Monster Creation.
Did you say erotic? Oh, errata.
Yes, he did. Yes,
errata. Yes. Well, that's my hillbilly language. Come on, that's my hillbilly coming out.
It could use some sex, is what Dave is saying.
It could use some erotica. How are you doing? Wait till you guys see what we're going to do after we go off stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, speaking of that, Dave, Diablo Bob wants an update and perhaps an explanation on banana dogs.
How about we leave that a secret until the next time we do a get together? And maybe we'll have to get GM Gwyd on this, because Schmo's kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, Schmo is like playing World of Warcraft. I don't know what he's doing.
I see that. He's just whoring it up, dude. These guys, just go ahead and get in the raid. 10-man raid, setting it up. Send me a telephone invite.
Let's get it down here. Let me get my friend Marceline Slutowitz to come over, and we're gonna get some W going. WOW.
Send me some telephone invites, everyone. Don't forget your consumables and your foods.
No. Also, if you have snow, bring your sled and your snacks. Yeah.
He did back the new Shadow of the Demon Lord, though. I saw that. He was pimping that.
He did the 200 on the new Shadow of the Demon Lords, and he said, "Oh, it's a great deal." And he was trying, But my thing is, I'm so Kickstartered out, because I've done so many Kickstarters. Yeah, but anymore, my thing is, not that everybody doesn't already know I'm biased, but if it doesn't have a Fantasy Grounds component, I'm not in. I'm going to wait till the Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah.
It's just, God bless what Kickstarter has done. It has given the Savage Worlds, the Schwab Entertainments, the ability to not have to worry about publishing houses, and I love that. No the internet in general.
Yeah, that is.
But I everybody is doing. There's 50 Savage Worlds Kickstarters, 500 D&D Kickstarters every day, and I'm like, I can't back them all. And I get emails every day just about, hey, would you like to do a shout out for a Kickstarter to your community? And I'm like, I can't, like the last one that I actually took a look at and helped promote was Geo's, and thankfully his got funded. So
because we did it on our show too.
Yeah, he's a publisher. He's done stuff for D&D and Wizards of the Coast and other companies, and his stuff is good. I've read his stuff in the past, so I just didn't know that was GeoQuester until he told me what his name was, and I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty cool. So, but yeah, it's like Kickstarter has just, it's great. I mean, we're in a renaissance of RPGs and stuff. I think we're in a renaissance, but it's just totally flooded and everything. Yeah. And don't even get me started on DM's Guild. I mean, DM's Guild is just, it's the open west. You know, I wanted to take a look at, I love the Brawler in 4th edition, and somebody converted the Brawler to 5e. And when I opened up the PDF, it said Rogue Brawler, but when I opened it up, it said Rouge about 50 different times. And I'm like, dude, if you can't spell Rouge, I don't want to read this PDF. So I just kind of deleted it, and that's the last I've been on DM's Guild, because it's just not, it's not policed, man. Yeah.
Oh, it's policed.
It's more missed than hit. So,
but well, I might have to dispute that. I mean, says the guy who has 100 things on the DM's Guild. 100. I didn't say anything about your content. But I appreciate all of that, all of those effects and your adventures. Your new adventure, by the way, I took a look at it. There are some not as good products on the DM's Guild. But that's the great thing about it, is you allow the community to make stuff, and if it's shit, it goes to the bottom of the list. You know, nobody buys it.
Yeah, I guess.
And people review.
I'll agree to disagree. I'll agree to disagree, though. That's just my...
Well, have you ever bought something that you thought was a total piece of crap, and then you went and read the reviews, and the reviews were all glowing reviews? I don't think that's going to happen. I think
unless they have a bunch of friends. Unless they have a bunch of friends that.
No,
all right,
you can't.
All right, J Bob. I'll go ahead and I'll write a good review for you. Or his name is Hey, would you blow me? Hey, what? I'll put in a great review for you.
You can't scam the system. You can't, because first of all, to review it, you have to buy it. You can't just go review something without buying it.
No.
So people that invest their money are pretty hardcore about, hey, man. And I get, my stuff is so involved that there's. You write something that has 4,000 codes in it, there's going to be a fucking mistake in there.
Oh, of course.
And the great thing is, people can PM me and say, "Hey, I found this mistake. You don't have it as set at target. It should be self. I fix it. I upload it. Bam, everybody's happy."
Yeah, everybody gets notified when it gets But
so
I just had a couple bad experiences with DM's Guild, and I just haven't been back, and I won't be back. That's just my personal opinion.
Well, Dave, that's
spell fucking Rogue correctly. Please don't spell it Rouge. It's not Rouge.
But Rogue. Dave, I want you to reconsider. I want you to challenge your beliefs here, because what you're saying is, I went to the movie theater and I saw a shit movie. Therefore, I'm never going to watch movies again. That's what you're saying.
Please don't say it's a new Queen movie, because my mother wants to see that, and my mother hasn't been to the movie since Dawn of whatever Scarlet, I don't give a damn, whatever it is. Or probably the Wizard of Oz back in the 30s.
The point I'm making is you're punishing all the creators in the DM's Guild for the idiot that doesn't know how to spell Rogue. That's what you're doing.
Not the ones that I know that are DM's Guild that I know that they can write, and I've seen their stuff before. I'm talking, let me clarify myself a little bit more, Rob. I'm talking from a general searching standpoint. That's what I don't like about DM's Guild.
Yeah.
It's like the Wild West, but people that I know that have stuff on there, I'm all on it, dude. A lot of stuff. Like a fly on shit, Rob.
Like a fly on shit.
Flies like shit.
That's where
they do.
That's where they live. Man. That's where they live.
Well,
Bohemian Rhapsody. You need to get your mom, get in the car, and you need to go see it. It's a good movie.
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah. Well, she's just getting out of the hospital, and she's feeling a lot better. So I think Sunday I'm going to take her to bingo and sit beside her and look at her cards for her, because she can't see a goddamn thing anymore. I mean, she's got cataracts, but now she's got an eye doctor. She's doing good now, man. And in December, she's getting her eyes done. She's not happy that I set up the appointments for her, but she's going, because I'm tired of her saying, "I can't see this button on my remote control. Can you change this to Fox so I can see my whatever, This Is Us," or whatever it is? I'm like, come on, Mom, you got to get your eyes fixed. She's looking at a steak and she thinks it's a pork chop. I mean, come on. I love her to death. But,
Diablo, hey guys, thanks for the nice comments in the chat. Diablo Bob has a good question for the three of us.
Sure.
You want to read that, Dave?
So what? Yeah. Why don't? Is there really quickly before we do some? Because it is getting late. I mean, we've been just talking about everything but the Pathfinder playtest. Is there anything else that you liked or disliked about Pathfinder, Rob?
I like the. I don't know if it's called. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you go ahead, Gwyd. You already started. Rob's
You're right.
got smoke coming out of his ears. So, yeah.
I guess what I would call the trait tags. I kind of like that they have the different traits that you can kind of quickly kind of figure out what's going on with a spell, or
talking about the little symbols, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love it. Yeah.
Rob, since you have your mouth full, what's next? What about you?
Well, the two things that I talked about already were my favorites. I would say my answer at this point is I haven't played enough.
Yeah.
I was a little overwhelmed because it was my first time in, and I didn't read, Gwydion, I'm sure you read all of the material before you DM'd, so you were very familiar with it. And plus they made some changes and stuff. But I mean, I just had fun mostly because it was with you guys, and I got to play with people I like. And if I had gone to a game store, or if I had gotten into the game with strangers, it probably would not have been as good for me, and I might not have wanted to continue like I do now.
Would you have just thrown your dice down and said, "Fuck this bullshit! Fuck this bullshit! I'm out of here, and I'm going home and playing World of Warcraft. Screw this crap."
I'm going to take my communicator, and I'm going to take my real life communicator, and I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
Oh God!
That's what I
have. That you got to share that if you have that with you. There it is.
The communicator. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nerd alert!
If you call my cell phone, it does the 2 beeps.
Is your number still 911? Alrighty then.
And then it's a Bluetooth, right? So if you get a phone
open
call,
that up again. Is it really a communicator? Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
Look, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but that shit's spinning. That shit in the middle it's just like the TV show. This was laser designed from a prop from the 60s.
Wow!
And it's a Bluetooth for the phone, and it's got all kinds of crazy shit in it, like you can do what's this one do?
Man.
It's because I've got to, mister.
I've got to, mister.
Need more power.
But
oh God.
I mean, when the reason I got that, and it's from a company called the Wand Company, and they make it's not a toy. It was like $150, but the reason I got it is when my friend
chump
and I
change for Rob2e. Chump change.
That's just chump change for money that I can't get.
DMs Guild.
I say hashtag DMs Guild, locked up money I can't get to. So my friend and I, when we were little kids, Star Trek, and so when we were like preteen, 11 or 12, we said one day we're going to have communicators. And then when cell phones were invented, we were like flipping out. We were like, it's true. We had flip phones. But now I don't just have a cell phone. I got the fucking actual goddamn.
I'm jealous. So, you need to put that on the will for me with the Velvet Millennium Falcon.
Does that go on the will? Okay.
That goes into. So I called it. Is that okay? So I got the first dib on that, right? I'm calling shotgun.
You're gonna feel so bad when you get a package and I drop dead and
dude, that better not happen. That better not. Hey, I told you if anything happens to me, everything is going to you. I mean, because my son doesn't want it, so you're going to get thousands of miniatures. You're good. Yeah, he doesn't want it, man. He's like. He's too much in the world of Warcraft and Dead for Daylight or whatever it is.
Have you written this down, David? Have you put a will?
I do. Yeah, I have emails and all that stuff. So, you son of a bitch, you're waiting for me to die now. Just make sure I'm on the list.
I'm not kidding. I'm gonna put that in the will, and then I'm gonna send you a copy to show you that I did it.
Don't eat anything awesome. He sends you, Dave. Don't eat anything.
Yeah, check out these cupcakes I made. They're gonna have little communicator icings on them and stuff. Yeah, this has got the secret sauce in it, Dave. Just take a bite. God.
Secret sauce.
So why don't we take a couple of let's take a couple of questions. And
Diablo Bob's question was good. He had said, for the three of us big players, modern age RPG. There's tons of places online to find games, advertise games, or find players. A million forums, RPG Table Finder, and the like. Do you guys see a consolidation of advertisements in the future?
Well, I think a lot of sites have tried to do that, but they haven't been successful with it.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask me, where can I get a game? And I send them everywhere. I tell them to go to the Fantasy Grounds forums. I tell them to go to my Discord. I tell them to go to the Fantasy Grounds Discord. I tell them to go to Fantasy Grounds College. So yeah, it's just all over the place, and Reddit, and there's just a million places.
Yeah, Fantasy Grounds has a lot of great options. I mean, and you forgot to mention the calendar. There's so many games on the calendar that aren't in the forums. So you can go to the forums. There's Adventurers League forums. There's Pathfinder Society forums. There's now Starfinder. I mean, there's looking for group forums. There's the calendar. Introduce yourself, especially if you are a DM. You find a group in 5 minutes.
If you're
You'll
a
be
DM,
turning people
you will
away.
not have a problem. Yeah, you're going to find players immediately.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. If you want to play, run a game and play a character. That's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, definitely check out the FG cons because that's a great place to get started.
Isn't RPGNet has a forum still, right? Dungini still has a forum that you can get on there and look for group as well. I don't think the communities are as large as what Fantasy Grounds would be, but I know the Fantasy Grounds community is pretty large now. There are a lot of people on the forums, so introduce yourself.
On the website, on the website, it says that in 2018 we passed 100,000 licensed users.
Yeah,
and that doesn't include that doesn't include all the demos, the free demo or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of players. I mean, think about that. I mean, the Dungeons and Dragons community itself probably has a couple 3 million people in it, but for 100,000 people to be using Fantasy Grounds, that's insane.
Yeah, that is insane.
That's a lot of people.
It's impressive.
Yeah. So here's a question for you guys. How do you guys think the pie is with around the table players and online players? I think the online players are probably catching up to around the table players just because of its ease of use. Because we know right now you're probably just got a shirt on, Rob, and you can just play with your shirt on, and people can just see you. Like me, I don't have nothing on but a shirt. So,
yeah, I think
it's just ease of use.
Guys like us are close to the YouTube and the Twitch thing. But if you think about it, the numbers aren't close. It's probably, I would say, for every one person that plays online, I would say there's probably between 10 and 50 people that play offline. It's a massive amount of people, and we only see online. We only see hundreds, couple hundred people, not that many.
I think
we're
there's
still early.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot more, but I don't know if it's like 50 to 1 though, Rob. I don't know. That number seems a little high.
Because, well, I mean, think about it. If there's 100,000 people using Fantasy Grounds, and there's probably 200,000 or 300,000 people using Roll20, and then another 100,000 added up between all the other VTTs, and also Skype and Google Hangouts not using a VTT and playing online. But there's like millions. There's like 2 or 3 million people playing D&D, and that's just D&D. Then you got Savage Worlds, you got Pathfinder, you got everything else. So yeah, it's way big number, dude. I mean, I suppose if we looked hard enough, somebody's probably calculated that. But I think
your homework.
Online.
Let us know for next time, 'cause I'll ask you.
I don't know. Fuck, I'll find out now.
But I think it's changing. I think certainly is, and
who would know that is. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just gonna say, who would know that is Hawk Robinson, and Hawk and John from RPG Research. They would know that.
Yeah, it's good point.
What were you going to say, Gwydion?
I was just going to say, I think as folks get a little bit older and move out of town, you may have had your group together. I think that's where ultimately this thing's really going to grow online. It's hard to keep that group together. But to Rob's point, I think there are still a lot more now. But I think it's definitely moving in the. It
probably is. It's probably 50 to 100 to 1. Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's probably 50 to 100 to 1. But
yeah. So there's the subset of us that we broadcast it. We play online, but we also give people the chance to voyeur, to look at us.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole bigger group that's probably 100 times as big as that use this play online, but they don't broadcast it. But then the amount of people that are just playing at the kitchen table is way bigger than that. I mean, it's probably, like I said, 10 to 50 times bigger.
Yeah.
I wish I did know the numbers. I'll bet you like Wizards knows the numbers for D&D, but they don't, because they send out all kinds of surveys, but they don't tell you. They don't give that information away.
So I will say this to kind of comment on what Diablo was asking. If you're a new player, and especially if you're looking in if you're by yourself, you don't know anyone, be open to playing other games besides D&D 5e, because there are a lot of games out there, and a lot of people, if it doesn't say D&D, they won't play it. But there are a lot of great games out there, but just be open to try other systems, because that group could then turn and play something else after a couple of months or a couple of sessions. So, plus it's going to get you into a pool of people that you'll actually know and probably get added to an email list and etc. and get invitations down the line if you're not a total douchebag or anything while you're playing. So, which that can get you blackballed too. So be cool around the table. A little bit of a new player 101. So, but yeah, be open to playing other games. That's a tip that I could, if you take anything away from it, just be open to playing other stuff. So yeah.
Like Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm playing tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah, that's why when we end the show tonight, I have to prepare my Waterdeep Dragon Heist game for tomorrow, because I won't have time to do it tomorrow. Because basically, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go to the bus stop, pick up my 2 friends that are going to take public transportation to like a couple miles from my house, bring them back here. We're going to play Gloomhaven for 4 hours.
Blindfold them before you bring them back to the house?
No, they've been here before.
You're making them use the bus? Oh, yeah. If you're using the bus, you're getting blindfolded before you get over here. Spin them around about 30 times with a bat on their head, and then get them into the car. Yeah, there you go, bud. What again?
We're going to play Gloomhaven at the table with like the real game, not online. That's cool. Which you can play online, but they don't do that. And then I'm going to do my stream tomorrow night for the Dragon Heist.
That's cool.
Where I'm going to kill all the players.
I'm doing Tomb of Horrors tomorrow night. So see how many more people I can kill. I'm gunning. Here goes my camera moving again.
I saw that.
Quality production, guys.
My camera moves every time I breathe.
Well, I don't see any other questions coming in. So, guys, thanks so much for coming on. We'll do this again.
Yeah.
We'll have to do this like once a month or something. Talk about the different changes of the playtest and more compare. And what we didn't touch on tonight was crafting. How awesome crafting is, and that's something that I still need to read up on and figure out 100%. So, but yeah, good to have you on, Rob. Good to see you, buddy. Lord Wood, thanks for coming on.
Thank you both.
Absolutely, it was fun, guys.
We'll let you get to bed so you can
thanks, man.
Get up. You got to get up early in the morning or something, or
not so
he gets up at goddamn 4 in the morning every day.
Jeez. Yeah, I know, because every time he gets on Patreon and says something, or it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just going to bed at that point. And I'm going, holy cow. He asks me on
Discord, what are you doing up? And I say, he goes, I just got up. What are you up for? I said, I'm going to bed. He
slept 8 hours already.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks again for hanging out. We'll do this again, and we'll do some hashtag banana dogs next time, and we'll let Gwyd in on it and see if he wants to partake. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out for another Digital Dungeon Master Vodcast. Thank you to my guests, Lord Gwyd and Rob2e. You guys can check them out here on Twitch as well. I just think / their names. So, so check them out. And until next time, everybody, we will see you later. Have fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
This is the end of the program. Oh shit. Oh bloody hell. That was exactly what I said a minute ago, but expressed in a different way. Looks like I'll have to go. Yes, but where? And read a book or something.